Here's a short run-through of the different types of facial recognition. There are three main branches of facial recognition: standard, three-dimensional, and ID at a distance. ID at a distance is the real-life representation of the old trope of enhance the image. You know, where the cops are like pointing at a security camera and you see this tiny little grainy image of the person, and all of a sudden the person looking at it is like, that's the guy. I want to see it bigger and like perfect. And then all of a sudden they pull up this like amazing high quality image and they're like, yep, this is the person. That's the perp. Well, up until now, that wasn't possible. However, with current advancements, we can actually reconstruct significant parts of the base image, even without knowing the original image. For example, in the top case, we are given this horribly grainy picture, and we can actually get almost to the point where we can easily make out the original person if we were given the two images side by side. Now, in cases where it's really grainy, such as in the bottom left example, you can't really get a high quality result without knowing the original image or knowing what the original person looks like. So, in cases like that, you have to train versus the person that you're looking for. Why they decided to call this process face hallucination is beyond me. If you Google face hallucination, you will get a mix between these and random crazy people finding pictures of faces in like windows and like water and like all over the place. It's nuts. Don't do it. Or do. I don't care. In contrast, the standard branch is what we normally deal with when we're referring to webcam-based facial recognition and simple picture-based facial recognition. It's a three-step process that first uses one algorithm to determine where your face is in an image, and then uses a separate one to pick out the different facial features. This is what the dots are in all of the Vtuber apps and such, and what the dots are here, as they are pointing out the different facial features and taking them into account so that we can do stuff with it, like move animated characters and determine where you're from and determine who robbed the liquor store. After the points are found, they are then compared to a database in order to figure out who the person is, what they're like, stuff like that. As each person will have slightly different proportions in the different points. The number of points used is dependent on the application. For VTuber-based stuff, you only really need to move the mouth, eyes, and occasionally nose and eyebrows. So there's generally less points, especially because the more points you have, the more resources they need for processing. However, if you really want a high quality estimate on a person and who they are, going against a large database, you want a ton of points. Last but not least is 3D facial recognition, such as in Apple's Face ID or the Xbox Kinect. This is done using a combination of a dot projector and a dedicated infrared camera. Since the original pattern is known, a depth map can be created by looking at the deformation of the pattern at each point. Interestingly enough, the top two images here are both photos of the Xbox Kinect stop pattern, where the bottom one is Face ID. If they look almost identical, that's because they are. Apple actually went out and bought the company that made the Kinect, and owns all of the patents now. This is also similar to the LiDAR used in everything from self-driving cars to the new iPhone, which technically speaking has two LiDAR sensors, because Face ID is also technically speaking considered a type of LiDAR. The fine. 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 I'm just gonna mess up all the time, and you all are gonna laugh, and this is staying in. The depth map from the 3D facial recognition is then used with pattern recognition algorithms similar as in the regular webcam facial recognitions in order to pick out and track the facial features between models in order to these 3D models are then compared to a database. Realistically enough, if you all wanted a serious explanation of this topic, you wouldn't be watching me. You're watching me to watch me mess up and mess up a lot, which I do. If you want a more serious explanation of the topic, feel free to comment. I will answer anything on this topic or any other topic that you would like. Thanks for watching.